Welcome family. Park Se-roy was originally a very naughty male student, so he was often punished by the teacher for holding a bucket of water on his head. But deep inside, he was extremely kind. Unlike Se-roy, the cruel Gun-hwan, who often bullies his classmates, Jin-hwan is a second-generation tycoon, so no one dares to touch him. Se-roy saw that the scene was unfair and immediately stood up, but his friend Suah, next to him, quickly said, "Don't touch this guy. If he was offended, your whole family would have to die." Unexpectedly, Se-roy still stepped forward to stop him and even lectured Gun-hwan in front of the bewilderment of his classmates. He felt extremely embarrassed. Gun-hwan continued torturing his friend to prove himself. He challenged Se-roy if she wanted to fight. When the two of them were about to fight, the teacher walked in. Gun-hwan ignored him and continued to torture his friends. The teacher was afraid the tycoon forces should turn a blind eye. Gun-hwan saw this and continued to provoke Se-roy. Se-roy could not control himself and immediately attacked this guy. He was completely unaware that this action had pushed his whole family into dangerous. Se-roy's father was working at Gun-hwan's father's company. The father was immediately summoned by the manager. Meanwhile, Se-roy was beaten with a stick by the vice principal, tormenting him to the point of miserable for Gun-hwan to see. And the principal bowed head to apologize to him. At this moment, Gun-hwan's father brought Se-roy's father to come. Gun-hwan's father seemed to be a reasonable person. The president realized that Se-roy's father had worked for many years, so he didn't want to expel Se-roy from school or send Se-roy to prison. Se-roy's father felt extremely grateful, but the president forced Se-roy to kneel down and apologize to his son. Se-roy is an upright and stubborn person. Kneeling down and apologizing is impossible. He said, "My father taught me never to lower my dignity." Hearing this sentence, the president was extremely angry. But unexpectedly, Se-roy's father felt very happy. He said that he was very proud to have such an upright son. Hearing this, Gun-hwan came up with a scary idea, and the chairman became even angrier. He immediately fired Se-roy's father. Se-roy extremely sad because of what he had done. He clenched his fists, but couldn't do anything. The two people went to the tavern and confided. He said he was happy that Se-roy had grown up. "If we are upright, we have nothing to regret." The two people drank happily, completely unaware that the disaster had just begun. The next day on the notice board, Se-roy was forced to drop out of school, so the father was unemployed and had no job, and the son was expelled from school. Se-roy's father used all the money he had saved to open a restaurant. Suah often came here to eat with him. At this time, a big incident happened. Unexpectedly, Gun-hwan also liked Suah. He flirted with Suah, but she liked Se-roy, so she didn't care about him. Gun-hwan has been very angry with Se-roy's family ever since. That night, Se-roy's father was on a motorbike delivering food. Gun-hwan driving a car crashing from behind, causing him to fall down the mountain. Se-roy's father died on the spot, the only relative whose death made Se-roy extremely miserable. Moreover, it was the father he loved and admired so much. While Se-roy was sad, the police suddenly came to announce that the perpetrator's side wanted to reconcile. Se-roy felt that they were too disrespectful of human life. When Suah picked up the pile of documents on the ground, she suddenly discovered the car in Gun-hwan's photo. She remembered the license plate number. It was just like the picture. It was clear that the police and the tycoon had arranged for someone to confess on their behalf. Se-roy, angry, immediately went to look for Gun-hwan. That night, it was raining, and Se-roy found Gun-hwan in the hospital garden. He saw Se-roy startled and afraid of falling to the ground. Se-roy vented all her hatred on this bad guy. To him, father meant the whole world, but this bastard cruelly took everything from him. Se-roy just beat Gun-hwan until he fainted. Right at the moment intending to use the rock to kill this guy, Suah brought the police to promptly stop him. They used guns to force Se-roy to. A policeman loaded a bullet and prepared to pull the trigger. Fortunately, at the time of crisis, Suah promptly stopped in the middle. She advised Se-roy to calm down. She said that his father would be very sad to see him do that. Thinking of father made Se-roy gradually regain his composure and drop the stone. The police took back their guns, leaving only Se-roy suffering and writhing because he could not take revenge. After that incident, he was taken to prison. The president came to see Se-roy and said he would forgive if Saroy kneels down and apologizes. Upon hearing this, Saroy immediately became angry. He said that the person who needs to kneel is your son. When the president heard that, immediately threatened him. The president, John, said, "Let's see how miserable I will torture you." Through the lawyer, the president knows that Suwa is Saroy's close friend, so he immediately called Suwa to his house. Knowing that the girl did not have enough money to go to school, he wanted to bribe Suwa to testify for his son. Suwa immediately asked how much money he could give. The chairman found it extremely interesting and laughed happily. Later, John Wan appeared. He regretfully wanted to turn himself in, but the chairman insisted that he would not let him do. He decided that John Wan would be the one to confess heir, and the heir cannot have a criminal record. Hearing this, John Wan had to obey his father to make his son more cruel. The president took him to the farm. He caught a chicken and asked John Wan to kill it. The president forced his son to be more cruel and cruel. Because of the huge inheritance, John Wan had to obey the order. The father saw this and laughed savagely. The next day, Saroy's trial took place. The court sentenced Saroy to 3 years in prison for manslaughter. It turned out that the chairman had killed the person who confessed and then blamed Saroy. A police officer knew this, very disgruntled but unable to do anything. The police director was bribed and forced to keep his mouth shut. Saroy's first day in prison was forced to kneel by the seniors, but he could only laugh loudly, making them feel confused. It turned out that the chairman had arranged for these prisoners to beat Saroy. Saroy came to visit and saw Saroy's bruised face. She felt regretful, so she immediately confessed everything. She said that it was I who betrayed you to get money to go to school. Saroy did not blame the girl at all. Before saying goodbye, he also said that he really liked Saroy and that when he gets out of prison, he will definitely confess. Saroy said that Saroy would become very rich after being released from prison and at least be able to take revenge on that tycoon. The two said goodbye to each other with a promise. Since then, Saroy has always remembered their feuding with the tycoon. 3 years passed so quickly. Today is the day Saroy was released from prison. During his time in prison, he became friends with a famous gangster. This boss was extremely impressive for Saroy. The first thing Saroy did after being released from prison was to go to the pub for the last time to see his father. He promised his father that he would definitely take revenge. Saroy first gathered all of his friends and all the information about Jonga Tycoon Group, including the situation of his son Gaeunwan, followed the address of the letter that Saroy sent to Saroy to a busy street called Itaewon. That day was also the day the street holds a festival, so it is extremely bustling. When Saroy was still bewildered, Saroy suddenly rushed to hug him. Saroy was surprised and very happy beyond belief. She took Saroy out for a drink. Saroy said she would work at the company of Gaeunwan's family, but Saroy did not blame her. He also said that he would work on an ocean ship for 7 years, because the two of them would have to be apart for 7 years. So Saroy was a little sad. The next day, Saroy started work on the ocean liner. 7 years quickly passed like a breeze. Currently, Saroy is working for the Jonga conglomerate and is very successful. She is also highly respected by the chairman, only that Gaeunwan has been flirting for 7 years and she still hasn't fallen, because Saroy still loves Saroy in her heart. After finishing work, she quickly left the company and went to Itaewon Street, where she and Saroy had made a promise 7 years after meeting again. Indeed, Saroy was here waiting for her. Saroy looked at him with sparkling eyes after many years of separation. She did not expect that Saroy's idle words 7 years ago to open a restaurant had now come true. Saroy's restaurant name is Danbam. Today is the opening day, so everyone is extremely excited. Who would have thought that after sitting all day, there would still be no customers in the shop, while the rental fee on Itaewon Street is extremely expensive. Right next to it is Itaewon High School. This group of girls is bullying other girls. Unfortunately for them, they encountered stubborn girl Yi-So. The girl brought out her phone to broadcast live online. The post immediately became hot, making her a celebrity. But because of this clip, the other parent came to beat Yi-So. But unexpectedly, the scene had just been filmed by her friend. Yi-So was truly the quintessence of evil. She scared that terrible mother so much that she couldn't speak. This woman waved her hand and tried to hit. Yi So was stopped by Se-roy. Unexpectedly, Yi So took this opportunity to slap the mother back. Se-roy did not know what happened and chased Yi So, asked her to apologize. Yi So lied that my father died because of her. Wait until he gets up. She poked her head out the door and teased me that I was lying, you idiot. It turned out that Yi So had a stubborn personality, just like Se-roy. She often made the principal angry, but couldn't do anything about it.